This is the Citadel from Mass Effect. It's the political center of the galaxy, home to advanced alien civilizations, cutting-edge technology, wonderful blue women, and apparently the slowest elevators ever manufactured. And yet somehow, I think they're genius. And you're probably sitting there scratching your head as to why I've even said that. This looks like a painful experience, but for the most OG of Mass Effect players here, you guys already know. But pretend you don't and still watch the video, please. Now for players of Mass Effect Legendary Edition, you might not even understand what the hell I'm talking about here. You can literally skip the elevator ride, so what am I even saying? Well, in the original Mass Effect 1, that wasn't the case, and I don't blame anyone for skipping the elevator rides. Fair enough, you want to keep the ball moving, and I can respect that. Now at first glance, staying in the elevators and not pressing that skip button can feel like a big waste of time. There are some elevator rides in this game that make you feel like you might as well have took the stairs. That's if the Citadel has a staircase. It seems to be very hop in the lift or take the space Uber. So why are the elevators so painfully slow? Why am I not just seeing a pretty little loading screen and then turning up right at my destination? Like, look at all this aura from Mass Effect 2. Well, quite honestly, the simple reason the elevators couldn't be skipped in the original game is pretty much down to engine limitations, as the elevators basically acted as cleverly disguised loading screens in gameplay. It's actually really interesting to see how these elevators work behind the scenes. Using a freecam mod by HurryKane, we can leave the elevator entirely and watch what's happening outside. And what you find is surprisingly simple. The elevator is actually travelling through a long empty elevator shaft, just like real life. Once it reaches its destination though, the game loads in the next area and unloads the one you just left. It's a pretty convincing illusion of travelling through the actual Citadel. But that raises another question. Why go through all this effort in the first place? Well, you see, when the original Mass Effect launched all the way back in 2007, it was actually originally only on the Xbox 360, as BioWare was acquired by Microsoft at the time, before moving to be under EA, which is honestly like selling your baby to a bloodthirsty hawk, but sure. So as a result of that, it was built on the hardware of the Xbox 360, and the 360's hard drive and DVD drive were painfully slow. So slow in fact, that future games had to have more than one disc. Hell, the developers of Mass Effect literally had to slow down how fast you could actually explore the Citadel because the game couldn't stream the assets quick enough. But enough yapping about Xbox and assets. Back to the elevators. Now the thing is with Mass Effect 1 is BioWare didn't want to do traditional loading screens in Mass Effect and preferred to keep you immersed in the game. BioWare could have simply had it been a quiet elevator ride, which is honestly the more realistic experience because who's actually starting a conversation in an elevator? But they took this limitation as an opportunity to further expand the game's universe, all while the player is standing still. But how did they do all this? Did Shepard pull out a snake minigame on their Omni tool? Was there a QTE of awkwardly looking down at the ground? The actual answer is quite frankly the simplest one, but the most effective. It was dialogue. Most of your time during an elevator ride, the squad mates you have accompanying you will have a conversation with one another. And these conversations can range a lot from reacting to what's happening in the story, asking about each other's past, and even just the occasional joke. Which made it all the more jarring in Legendary Edition where once the skip option appears, you cut their dialogue very awkwardly halfway through. The elevator conversations became so prevalent in the series of fans that Mass Effect 3 has callbacks to these exact elevator rides. Some of my favourite interactions have to be Wrex asking your fellow squadmate who'd win in a fight between them and Shepard. My little gaslighter. He might also bring up the Genovese now and again. I also find it so interesting to see Garrus' feelings towards the Quarians and loving each and every one of Tali's comebacks. Seriously, go back and play the first game and listen to these conversations. Garrus is an ass to Tali in the first game. Oh, Kaidan also says stuff too, I guess. And even when your squad has nothing to say, there'll be Citadel broadcasts also informing you about situations of places you've explored in your playthrough, outcomes to side quests you've done like Admiral Kahoku passing away, and Emily Wallen's investigations. And other times it'll tell you all about the important performance of Hamlet with an all-Alcor cast. And even on the rare occasion that broadcasts don't happen, you could simply vibe to the elevator music. It was such a simple way of making you feel that much more connected to this game's universe and characters. Like the game is letting you know it's okay to slow down. Take it all in and appreciate your time spent playing in this universe. It's all surprisingly effective. You're not doing anything, you're quite literally standing in a moving box. But by the time those doors open again, you've learned something new about the people you're traveling with and the world you're exploring. And the funny thing is that, as I stated before, with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, the whole loading problem is gone. Storage is way faster now, and so the loading screen isn't really needed anymore. So most of the time you'll skip the elevator ride entirely, which means the moment BioWare used to make the Citadel feel that much more alive has become something most players might never see. And that's where I think a limitation becomes an extra immersive experience. Even during the downtime of what would be an annoying and dragging part of the game, turned into a moment where you can get to learn and grow attached to the characters and world you are in. So next time you're playing through Mass Effect 1 with about 70 mods jam-packed in there, and you reach the elevators, maybe ignore that skip option and really take in everything you can hear. You might just end up falling in love with this game all over again. Unless the elevator you are using is the Normandy's, because I feel nothing but hate for this slow ass piece of shit. Glad you blew up.